to be associated with them. And with them, they have their GT Malkia account. And we are in a partnership where we support each other. So if you are a woman looking for a bank, GT Bank and the Malkia account is definitely the one that you want to be going for. So what kind of programs do we run? We run various programs, and one of the ones that we have is coming up on the 14th of July. Should you want to join, there will be a link that will be shared on the chat later on. It is an online program, so anyone in Africa can join in. It's called the Women in Digital Business Training, and it is a 5-week self-paced online training by the International Labour Organization in partnership with Novel Ag. The format is self-paced, virtual, and you can learn from your phone, and you can learn anytime, anywhere. It talks about digital strategy and online presence, social media and online marketing, and then tools for operations and finance. I like saying that just because you have a social media account doesn't mean that you've optimized it for digital business or e-commerce or the marketplace at the on our social media platforms. So having an account is not the same as running a business on digital. So programs such as these, they equip you with the necessary knowledge and skills to understand how to convert your social media presence into a revenue earning place, and how to take advantage of the marketplace. And I think we all know, and if you did not know, Africa really leads in terms of digital commerce. We've really harnessed, and we've really grown and developed what we call digital commerce. So if you're not here, you're missing out. The second program that we're running is with Sinapis is not here, but please feel free to reach out to our secretariat and Sinapis. And we are running it again to equip women in business in what they need to do to be able to grow their businesses. If you're a member here or a non-member here who wants to find out about our monthly hangouts, the next members and non-members hangout is happening on the 25th of July from 4 o'clock. And this will be at Legend Restaurant, which is at the Current Shopping Center along Gong Road. The theme for this one is Connect, Engage, and Empower. For members, it is just 500 bob, and for non-members, it is 1,500. Should you want to exhibit and sell, for members, of course, it's free. For non-members, it's 2,500 bob. So what to expect? You will meet with your fellow entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs. You can have a product exhibition. There will be a guest speaker. And of course, you will meet other forwarders, and you will also meet other people who are like-minded and who want to grow in business. Forward is a membership-based organization. And we are because our members contribute to us. Should you feel and want to join a forum such as ours and decide that it definitely is FOWEC for you, if you're in Kenya, then reach out to our secretariat. Our membership fees are not punitive. We just ask for 5,000 bob for a FOWEC Amani member per year. The joining fees is 1,000 bob. And if you do want to if you're a person who has a larger business past the growth stage, then FOWEC Zuri is for you, which is at 20,000 bob. If you're a group of women at Chama, an association, who also want to be part of FOWEC, because we do encourage associations to join FOWEC, then membership is just 10,000 bob for whatever number of people that you have, where you appoint one person who's your key spokesperson. And then if you're an organization, a corporate who would like to take advantage or be part of the FOWEC movement and support us, membership fees is 50,000 bob. We shall put a link on the chat again where you can then reach out to us and be able to join us. So without further ado, I want to hand this back to Millicent so that she can welcome our guest speaker, who I am also really looking forward to listening to tonight. Over to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping it brief, and thank you for the wonderful recap. For those who didn't know us, I know now you have a better understanding of who we are. But today, as much as we are the host, today is not a moment. We are not the moment. And I just want to talk, as I usher in the speaker of our main speaker for today. She's joining us a partnership with Brands with Purpose Consultancy Group. And if that is new to you, what they do is they exist to build and develop brands that change the world. That is the business they're into. And that what looks like is a Brand with Purpose Consultancy Group. They help people build a personal brand of purpose and influence, a brand that opens opportunities, a brand that helps build credibility, a brand that differentiates you, and also a brand that helps you stand out in the crowded market. That's what they're in business for. That's what they do. And they gracefully sent us a speaker, Immaculate Karanja, who's our speaker for today. And she's going to help us uncover the whole mystery of brand, and not just branding, but branding with purpose, so that we can show up in the world more confident, more self-aware, and we can stand out in the crowd. So again, please don't be tired. Just help me make our speaker feel a bit more special. And I can say unmute, but that would be chaotic. So thank you so much. The best way you can do, thank you. You see, you already know. I didn't even ask, but you already know. Yeah, so the emojis, fill up the room emojis. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So, Immaculate, the virtual stage is yours. Karibu.
Thank you so much, Millicent. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I am in Kilifi, and I am guessing there's some background noise. You can confirm, but I know that I might be louder than the noise. I am hoping that I am. So thank you, Millicent, for having me. I'm really glad to be here. My name is Immaculate Karanja, just as Millicent has mentioned. I am a brand strategist working with Brands with Purpose Consultancy Group. And what we do is we develop and build brands that change the world. We believe that all this change that we need to see, it's not going to come from outside us. It is going to come from us. We are innovative, we are creative people, we have gifts, we are very talented, and we actually have the answers to our problems. And it is through our work, the projects that we run, that we will come up with the solutions that we need. So we help to put that into a vehicle called a brand. So we help you build those brands that bring this change that we need to see, and both business brands and personal brands. And that's why we say it is personal brands of influence and purpose, and brands that change the world. So I'm really glad to be having this conversation. And we're going to just get right into it. You can confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Thank you. So what we are going to cover today is personal branding. And we're going to look at what really is personal branding, because it's something that we hear a lot. It's something that we are saying that it's important, but what really is it? Why is it important? So those are among the things that we will be talking about. We're going to see that for you to build a personal brand, it's important for you to know you, because you are the brand. So we're also going to go through this process of self-discovery. What does it entail? How can I get to know myself a little bit more? We're going to have that conversation. We're also going to be talking about building a brand that is meaningful to you, building a brand of purpose through a concept called the Ikigai, which means your reason for being. So we are going to be answering the question, have you found your reason for being? Is the brand that you're building aligned with this? If not, we are going to answer some questions that could guide us through that process. And we're also going to talk about how you can come up with your brand development plan and come up with your brand statement. You're going to see what all that means. And let us start by understanding what it means that you are a brand. And this is important because previously we thought of brands as companies, institutions, those big outfits. And I have some examples of some companies here, like Apple and Coca-Cola and Safaricom and many other companies that we hear. So previously we have used this term, a brand, to mean these companies. But now we want to understand that how comes that I am a brand. And we need to now understand that a brand is a gut feeling that people have. Actually, there has been a misconception on what brand is, because most of the time we think it is the company name. Sometimes we think it is the logo, but it is actually the perceptions that people have about that company, the products of that company or their services. So it is actually the perceptions or the gut feeling that people have about that company or their products. And how do you know what the brand of something is? It is not what people think about it. That is why when we say a company name like Apple, there are certain things that come to mind. There are certain perceptions that people have about this company or their products or how they do their things, how they run their business. So in the same way, just as people have perceptions about these companies, these businesses, people also have perceptions about you, because we have said it's about a gut feeling that people have. So there are certain things that come to people's mind when they think about you, and that is basically your brand. That means sometimes we might know what our brand is, sometimes we might not know, we might have some rough idea, and it is now for us to see from this conversation, how can I be keen about the kind of brand that I'm building so that I'm not guessing what my perception is out there. And that's now the conversation that we'll be having. That is how to build an intentional personal brand. So basically, your brand is the reputation that you have. It's the perception that you have, what people think about you, or what comes to mind when people think about you. And when we talk about reputation, you know, there's a common saying that we say that your reputation precedes you. And sometimes you don't know if it's a good reputation or a bad reputation. And now that is something that we need to ask ourselves. Do I have a good reputation out there? Do I not have a good reputation? Because these perceptions that are out there about you is actually your brand. And we want to test this. We want to test this. We want to see what comes to mind when we hear some of these names that you're going to be mentioning. And I will request that you either unmute, you can unmute and just say what comes to mind, top of your mind, without thinking too much, or you can put it in the chat box. Millicent, you can help me look at the chat box because I can't see it because of the screen sharing. But if
Okay,
you unmute,
sure, no problem.
okay. So the first name is Elon Musk. Top of your mind, what comes to your mind when you hear the name Elon Musk?
Okay, Light says tycoon.
Tycoon.
Oh, tycoon. Oh, so many tycoons. Okay, Mai also says tycoon. Lena says technology. Vicky says arrogant. Kwevogwe says Tesla. Monica says Tesla. Hey, I'm telling you, Nyakwa Rosuta says rockets.
Interesting.
Marvin says X. I think that's the former Twitter. Yeah. Thelma says innovation. And then another Tesla from Valerie. Aneta says risk. Nema says Tesla. Rahab says keyboard warrior.
Okay. Sometimes we could go to the next person. We also hear what people think
Tesla
about
disruptor.
Oprah. I am
Okay.
hoping that we might know Oprah. So what do we think when we hear that name? Top of your mind.
Okay. All right. So there were two more for Elon. There was disruptor, there was innovation entrepreneur, and AI. For okay, I think that was also for Elon. It was pregnant robots. That has to be Elon. That can be Oprah. But let's see. Okay, now we are on to Oprah. Pregnant robots? Come on. Okay. Valerie says TV personality. Vande says millionaire. I think it's a B. She's a billionaire now, right?
Yeah.
Irene Agutu says trailblazer. Marvin says media billionaire. Lorraine says media personality. Annette says fearless. Light says powerhouse. Maya says game changer. I'm also seeing philanthropy. I'm seeing superpower. I'm seeing breaking the glass ceiling. I'm seeing influence, inspirational, courage, woman empowerment, rich in innovation, a wise, amazing woman, media, influencer, the OG influencer.
Thank you. What about the last person, Nelson Mandela? What comes to mind? Top of your mind?
Okay.
Thank you. For me, when I hear about Nelson Mandela, I see that also it is among the person who tried to make the changes in South Africa just for liberating the people. So I think it is a he had like humanistic things of just bring back what South Africa should be for the native people. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. In the chat room, they're saying, I'm seeing legend, warrior, transformative, freedom fighter, another freedom fighter, another freedom, followed by another freedom, and then super determination, South African freedom, great leader, hero, freedom fighter, leader, global icon, freedom fighter, brave, strong, self-identity, leadership.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Millie. So that means these people, we have not met them, we're not that close to them, but we have certain perceptions of them. So let us bring it a bit closer and let us just think of one of your colleagues. It could be your leader at your workplace, it could be your employee, or just colleague. Just take a minute and think about what comes to mind when you think about this specific person. Think about a specific person and what comes to mind when you think about them.
Do they also let us know in the chat box, or is that like an introspective thought?
Yes, that's an introspective thought.
Okay.
Because we will have to see so many.
Oh gosh, yeah. They had already started, okay? And someone wrote confusion. Someone wrote motivator. But let's go back to our thoughts, okay?
Yes.
Now I can go back to muting my button.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. I'm here just when you need me.
So thank you so much. As we can see, someone already says that what comes to mind when they think about their colleague is confusion and motivator and other things that I'm sure are going to show up in the chat box or that you have thought about. And in the same way, just like you have thought about that colleague and what came up is confusion or motivator, in the same way, there's someone thinking something of you. So the question becomes, what do you think that person is also thinking about you? Because just as we have said that your personal brand is actually your reputation, the perception and impressions that people have about you. So now that's also a question that only you can answer and tell us, what do you think people might be thinking about you? Because you already have that reputation. You already have there are already some perceptions that people have. And your brand is you. Your brand already exists. And if the brand is you, the brand can only cease existing when you don't exist anymore. So you can't also say that I don't have a brand or I will stop building my brand. You are already building your brand, whether intentionally or through neglect. So it's very important that we know that if we fail to build your brand, if you fail to build your brand through intention, you're going to build it through neglect. That is why you're going to hear people say about someone else, the person who is always late, or the person who is always disorganized. That's where there we can see confusion. So I'm sure this is not how this person would want to be known, but they haven't been intentional about how they're carrying themselves, what perception it's bringing out, or what impression they're creating with how they're carrying themselves out. So that is very important for us to know that we could actually build our brand through neglect, and that is not what we want. So what is personal branding? It is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And that's why we are saying you might not necessarily know what people are saying about you, but they are saying something. And that's why now we are saying we need to be intentional to know what they're saying, or at least be at the forefront of curating that impression and perception. So it is what people say about you when you're not in the room. The process of personal branding is the process of creating and managing a unique and consistent image and reputation. It's all about the image being created and perception being created. So that is very important. It is the practice of marketing yourself and your career as a brand or as a product, just as we saw how the word brand referred to companies, now replace the company with you. So it is the practice of marketing yourself as the brand or a product. And that means that you could also potentially be paid, just like the way these companies get this money, depending on how they put themselves out. That means you could also have streams of income open just because of your brand and all that, because of how you market yourself or how you carry yourself. So it involves identifying who you are, what you stand for, and how you want to be perceived by others. So these three are very important, because when you're able to know who you are and what you stand for, you'll be able to put a brand that is authentic to you, and you will be keen about the perception that you're creating or how you want to be perceived by others. So why is personal branding important? In this room, I am guessing that we have entrepreneurs, we have people who want to be leaders, or we have someone who probably wants to build an influencer kind of brand, or you want to get into employment someday. So all these different kinds of career paths, they require you to build a brand. And because we're talking about entrepreneurship today, we said that if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader and you're not yet intentionally building your personal brand, you're late. You are late. You needed to have started as soon as yesterday, but today is also a good day to start. So you can start with all this information that we are getting. I'm hoping that we will be in a position to now start building our brands. And the reason why this is very important and this cannot be ignored is because it's natural for people to feel more connected with people than the products that we sell and the services that we sell. And that means that actually building your personal brand is a business strategy. Because if you're able to connect with these people, they like you, they like the products, they like the services, it means your business will actually do well. And this is because people buy from people they trust. That's why we are saying it is non-negotiable. It's something that we cannot ignore. And not only for people in business, even in employment, your potential employer is not going to employ you if they don't trust you, if they feel, some ish about bringing you on board, bringing you to the team, then it means there is something that doesn't align. So people buy and relate with people they trust. And building a personal brand is among the things that can help you start building this trust even before these people engage with you physically. Because when you're able to now build this personal brand, start establishing your online presence, you're going to talk about that. You are already presenting some values, sharing who you are, sharing your journey. And because of this, you will come off as a trustworthy person. You will be relatable to the people who share the values that you have. They will see you as a respectable leader in your industry. And because of this, just from these engagements they're having from seeing you from afar, they already start associating positive feelings with your business as well. That is why they will now want to know you a little bit more. When you mention your business, now they will say, oh, this person is also building a business. Let me test their products. Or I resonate with this person. Their values align with my values. Let's say it's family values or the journey of being an entrepreneur that you're sharing. Whatever you'd want to share, because that is up to you. but people can now resonate with your journey and who you are. And because of that, they automatically start connecting with your business as well, or they associate positive feelings with your business as well. And that means that that works positively for your business. It works well for your business because now you start building your community. The people who resonate with you start gravitating towards you. And it builds brand loyalty. It means that you have people who have developed a relationship with you just because of who you are, not just because of a product and a service. They can see the background of why you even came up with these products and services, why you're passionate about this cause that you're passionate about. So they get to have a relationship with the person. So the reason why it's therefore a good business strategy is because it helps to build credibility. From that personal brand, people can see, indeed, this person seems that they know what they say they do. Or it can give people trust about getting you for a certain service. So building trust, building connection. It will also help to differentiate you because as you're sharing your personal brand, you're sharing your values, you're sharing why are you passionate about this thing, you're sharing what are your worldviews and what are your belief systems. You could also share your background. What fueled you to get to this point that you're so passionate about this cause that you're even building something in that line. So all of these things that are unique to you are what will differentiate you. And if people now start understanding this background story, that's how come they resonate with you, your values, the person that you are, and support your cause even more. Another reason why it's important is because it covers you in times of recession. Recently, we have been seeing jobs are the cases of equity, the cases of more university retrenchment. And sometimes if this person did not start building a brand early, it becomes a problem during that time when they need to pivot. Because if they didn't start sharing who they are and what they do, it's going to take a bit longer for them to find their footing. Before you convince someone that I am actually a reputable lecturer, I have been teaching for this number of years, or I am a good customer service agent, if you had not been sharing that information out there, you're going to have a hard time trying to convince people until they have trust in you, until they see that you really are credible. So compare that with someone who was already sharing their life as a customer service person or as a lecturer. When they now pivot to maybe doing consultancy, it's going to be much easier. So it also helps you to be in the game longer. It helps you get access and connections that you need. Previously, we believed that to get to some opportunities or into some places and spaces, we needed to know someone there. But now, building a good personal brand can help you get in speaking engagements that you didn't think that you could get, or to get some opportunities that you previously needed some connections to get into these spaces. So that is why this is important. And how do we build this personal brand? We build it through showing up in a certain way consistently. Just like people like Elon Musk, we know them from the Tesla and the SpaceX and all those things. It's because that is what they have been talking about consistently. And that is where we are able to associate this thing with them. And so them and SpaceX, they become synonymous. That becomes their brand. So that being said, it means that we now need to ask ourselves, what do we want to be known for? And then we now need to show up consistently in this way, because that is the perception that people will remain about you. So we need to ask ourselves some important questions like, what do I want to be known for? And then come up with a brand development plan on how to get there. So the first thing that you're going to do, I think we are not going to take much time. We can just reflect on these things as we go, is now clearly define your brand. If you have said that your brand is what people think about you, we need now to ask ourselves, what comes to people's mind when they think about us? Have you ever tried to get this feedback from people? Have you ever told a colleague or a friend, have you ever asked them to tell you what they think? And sometimes good feedback, bad feedback, it is good feedback. We actually say that sometimes you need a good enemy, because even if this person doesn't like you, they might give you feedback that will help you reflect and force you to work on some things. So try to get that feedback so that you actually really know what people are saying about you and what they think about you. Then you can ask yourself a very critical question. Is that how you want to be perceived? Because if it's not, now you can intentionally start being keen about how you will be perceived through how you consistently show up. And one of the places you want to start is you need to be very precise about how you want others to perceive you. So you need to have at least 3 words that could describe you. 3 words that you would want people to know you in this way. And then later you can actually go back and now ask, try to do a survey again, get feedback. What do they think about you so that you can see if you're hitting your target? And we have talked about self-discovery. We have said that if the brand is you, then you need to at least know you first before you build this personal brand. And your personal brand is all the different aspects of you, because people will make perceptions and create impressions of you from everything about you all around. So your appearance, your competencies, that is your skills and knowledge and experience, even your story, your values, your uniqueness, how you communicate, all these are components of your personal brand. And if sometimes you have not really sat down to ask yourself, but who am I? If I need to really ask myself this question so that then I build the personal brand, it means that we need to take time and have a time to reflect, because this is the only way we will have a strong foundation for your brand. It is the only way that you will be solid in the kind of brand that you're building. You will not be swayed to left and to right. Or one day you're building this kind of brand, the next day you're building a totally different kind of brand. So when we take time to reflect about these very important questions about yourself, it will help you to really be clear. We actually say that the process of brand building is bringing the internal out. You have to go through asking these deep questions about the essence of who you are, so that that is the kind of brand that you're building or that you will build. And especially because we need to build a brand that is authentic to you. So, and this can be the most difficult thing, the self-discovery journey, because sometimes we avoid going within. There's some questions or some places we do not want to go because it could bring up things that we are not willing to face. But it's very important, because this will be the solid foundation you will need for a good and strong personal brand. So some of the questions that you need to ask yourself is, beyond the titles, beyond the accolades, who are you really? Because if you're going to bring out the essence of who you are, it's not about the titles, it's not about the accolades, it is not about the achievements, it's about who you are authentically that will be coming out. And people are always able to tell when it is inauthentic. And when we are being inauthentic and people know, it breaks trust. And trust is very expensive to build back. So it's very important that we start here. The next question that we need to ask is, why am I here? Why am I even doing what I do? What are my drives? What are my interests? Both that I have learned already or that I will want to learn. What is my nature? What do people say about me? What are my personal values or core values, things that are very, very important to you, such that if this thing is not there, that situation doesn't augur well with you. That is very important, because your values come out with how you will share your brand. They will always come out. So do you have a personal philosophy? Have you ever thought about the legacy you want to leave? What are your goals for the future? What are your worldviews and ideologies about different things and belief systems? What is the cause that you stand for, and why are you even passionate about it? What is your personality? And you also need to answer the question, what do I do? Comprehensively, not just the title, not just saying I am a brand strategist. That's not enough. So you need to really think about what makes you unique in this area, what is behind your passion in this area, so that when you're going to now be presenting the personal brand, people can really see. It's not just about selling a product or a commodity, even on your personal brand, a service. It is about them seeing the journey, them seeing the cause, them seeing why you're even passionate about that cause. And one very important thing that we need to have as we're building this brand is we need to be balanced, because it needs to be a brand that you love, you're passionate about. It needs to be a brand that is also about serving and impacting people's lives, because only then will it be meaningful. It needs to be something that will eventually also pay you, something that is profitable. Because if any of these things are lacking, you're going to start noticing you're not very excited, very energetic about this brand that you're building. For example, if it's not about serving, it will not feel meaningful. If it is not bringing in some income or helping you grow in any way, your energy will start going down. You'll start feeling, I am giving so much to build this brand, yet there's nothing much coming back. So why am I using my time in this way? So that is also very important. It also needs to be something that you're passionate about. It needs to be providing a solution. What are the problems out there? If you're providing a solution to a problem, then it is going to be a brand that pays you. So it needs to be very balanced, because if one of these elements is not there, that brand is going to be one-sided, and it might not fully be a brand that serves you. So after we now know the kind of brand that we want to build, we have gotten to know ourselves, we have seen where the balance is. One of the other things that we need to do is to have a clear goal. Where do you want to be in 20 years, for example? I know 20 years could be a bit far, but it's important that we try to reflect and think about those things, even that far into the future. Because when you have a clear career goal, or where do you want to be, it will give guidance and direction for the brand that you're going to build. Because you're not building the brand only for now, we are also anticipating the future. We're also anticipating the kind of person you want to be, the kind of needs that will probably be there in your industry. So having that clarity on your goal is extremely important. Do you want to be a career professional, so that then you create a brand that is in line with that? Is it to be an entrepreneur? Is it to be a creative, an influencer, so that now you know the goal and you know the material that will be needed to create this brand? You also need to have self-awareness of your current brand. That's what we have been doing. That process of asking yourself the deep questions, that process of getting feedback. You need to know where you are at before you start. You also need to come up with a branding plan. How are you going to get there? What are some of the things that are needed for me to be like this person I can see in my future, in that 20 years, 15 years to come? And then you're also going to have to communicate your brand. We say that your brand is not for you. These skills that you have, these giftings that you have, it will not help if you just remain with these things. So these things were meant to be for a certain people. So that's where we even talk about you need now to create an online presence. It's very important. And we say that you need to do it strategically. And then you also need to walk the talk. You cannot say that I'm a person who keeps time or who respects deadlines. That's how you want to be known, for example, but you do the total opposite of that. So they will not be aligning. So that is also important. Now you have to remain true to the kind of person that you're saying you want to be. And before you build your brand, just as we have said, it's important you know the goal, even of building this brand. If you don't have a goal, you're going to be swayed left, right, and center. You're not going to have a sense of direction. So you need to answer some very important questions. Is it because you're changing career paths? That's why you need to start building a brand, so that you start showcasing a certain skill set that you want people to know that you have. Is it because you want to be promoted and rise in ranks in future? Is it to push your business? Maybe you're an entrepreneur or you're hoping to get into entrepreneurship at some point. So you need to start building a relationship with people. Or is it just to stay relevant in your industry, for it to open opportunities, speaking engagements? So knowing the goal is going to give you the path to follow. We've mentioned about the brand image, that you need to at least have an image of who you want to be in that 20, 15, 10 years. You need to ask yourself, what kind of person is that? What do they look like? How do they dress? How do they talk? Who are the people around them? How are they conducting themselves, their business? Because that is part of what gives you clarity. And sometimes because it's a bit difficult, or it might be difficult for you to see that 20 years from now, the you 20 years from now, what you can do is reflect on someone who embodies the kind of brand you'd want to build, or the kind of person you would want to be. And start thinking about them. How do they move? How do they communicate? How do they dress? And start seeing what are some of the things then you need so that you get to where this person is, if it's in terms of communication. And you might not be that good at communication, it means then that goes into your branding plan, brand development plan. So think about 3 to 5 people who you admire. Ask yourself, why do I admire these people? See what are the traits in them that you'd like to emulate. See which are the ones that you already have, the ones that can come easy to you, and then which ones do you really need to make a plan to start learning. And that means that developing a personal brand is definitely going to need you to grow yourself, personal development in a lot of ways. Because if you see this person is very good in communication, and especially depending also on your goal. If your goal is to rise in leadership or be a very renowned entrepreneur, there are certain other skills that you need apart from just your personality shining and being likable and creating a good impression. There are many other things that we need, soft skills that we need, so that then your brand can thrive and flourish. And other questions to ask ourselves is, what is unique about you? What is unique about you? You need to now think, if someone was to then give you this job, why will they choose you as a leader? If you're an entrepreneur, why will they come to you and not to the other person? It's very important that we start thinking about our uniqueness. And we say that our biggest uniqueness is just being ourselves. When you're trying to be someone different, people are definitely going to see that. So your biggest uniqueness is being you. So own your journey, own your personality, own your passions and interests, your skills, and just be you unapologetically. And that is in regards to your unique value proposition. You need now to think about, what are the things that make you unique? What are the special talents or skills, expertise that you have? Why will someone choose to work with you and not the other person? So going through all these questions is something that will really help you carve out a very unique brand for yourself. The other thing is to know your audience. If you will communicate, communication is sending a message and getting feedback. And if you communicate, it means you are communicating to a certain audience. That's why we started by saying your brand is not for you. It's for the people who could benefit. Yes, it is for you because you will benefit in those ways that we said. But it's more about serving. It's more about serving. We actually say that personal branding is exploiting your skills in the service of others. So who are these people who could benefit from your skills, the knowledge that you have, the value that you will give them? So it's very important that you know that audience, so that as you're creating your brand, you have that in mind. Because we have said communication is sending a message, the message being received, and feedback coming back. So you want to get feedback from them. You want to know, are they benefiting? And if they are getting value from what you give, they are definitely going to support you. And that means your brand will grow. And it could really, really grow. You could find yourself starting different kinds of businesses just because of the kind of relationship you develop with people. So the things that determine the kind of brand that you want to build is the goal for why you're building this personal brand and the people that you want to serve with the skills that you have, the talents that you have. It determines the kind of brand that you want to build. And then another very important thing is we need to have a personal brand statement. Oftentimes, when we go to networking meetings or we find ourselves with an opportunity where you can introduce yourself. Recently, one of the things we have been saying is, my name is so-and-so, and I'm glad to be here. You're not selling yourself enough. And a brand statement is something that could help you with this, because it is a concise statement that you use for introductions in networking meetings to help people understand a little bit about who you are and what you stand for, what you do for people, what they could get from, taking your services, having your products. So a brand statement is something that we need. It actually also works like an elevator pitch. It's a good conversation starter. So it is something that is able to explain to people who you are, what you do for people, why you do it, so that they can see the value that they will get. So if it's a networking meeting and you introduce yourself that way, someone who needs this kind of thing or who resonates with who you are, the values that you bring out, because just by introducing yourself in that way, there are some things people can see about you, including what you're passionate about, why you're helping people through this thing. So it's a good conversation starter. It already starts to build a connection, and these people will gravitate towards you. It will be simple to start a conversation. And the three most important things that you now need to know is, or to ask yourself, so that you come up with a statement is who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and why. Why do they need to listen to you, or why will they need to come for these services? And an example is, I am a brand strategist. I help entrepreneurs and career professionals build personal brands of purpose and influence, and a brand that helps them stand out in a competitive world. So that, compared to me just going into a networking meeting and just saying, I'm Immaculate Karanja and I'm glad to be here, there's a very big difference. So let us sell ourselves. This already is an elevator pitch. The people who need your services will gravitate towards you, or the people who resonate, the people who might be in your industry. So it becomes a very easy way to network and start conversation. The other thing we need to know is about communicating your brand. Just as we have said, your brand is not for you, it is for the people it needs to serve. And we have different ways we can communicate our brands. One of them is taking advantage of the digital spaces that we have. And that's why we talked about establishing an online presence. It's very, very important. An online presence in this day and age is like your CV. Even before someone asks you to send your CV, they can already see the kind of person that you are from there. There are different social media platforms. We won't get to talk about establishing the online presence today, but there's certain ways that you can put yourself out there. Apart from social media, you can develop a personal website. And through these platforms, now you can share your expertise. That's how you build credibility. So you can put out articles, share your experiences, share some insights, lessons you're learning along the journey. Sometimes we feel that we cannot build a personal brand because we have not really become the it and gotten there. But you don't always have to share or build your personal brand from the person who knows it all. You could also share the challenges that you're going through, the lessons that you're learning, the insights that you're getting along the way. So just share what you're comfortable with, It also means you're the one who will decide how much of yourself you would want to share, because again, being too vulnerable might work against you. And so it's for you to get a balance so that you may know how you want to build this brand, but sharing the lessons learned, the challenges are among the things that will make people resonate with you. They can say, this person who is just like me is building this thing. So I can, network with them, or I feel encouraged because they're also building a business or a brand. They're having challenges just like me. So it also is a good way to build relationships. And then it's very important in this day and age because visibility is becoming the currency. Actually, these days, another very common thing we are saying is if there are no pictures, we can't prove that it happened. So that means being visible is extremely important. But we now need to do that strategically. It needs to be aligned with your vision and your mission, your personality, even the content. It needs to be value-based content strategy. You need to be telling a story. Why are you passionate about this thing? All of those things form the strategy. This is part of what the strategy would look: your vision, your mission, your values, and now the content strategy, even your visual identity. Because communication is not just written or verbal, it is also visual identity. And that's why appearance is part of what is helping you build a personal brand, because that is part of the visual identity. What people see is creating an impression. There are certain perceptions that they have. And apart from now the digital space that we have, we should also take advantage of the offline spaces, take advantage of public speaking platforms, events, webinars, networking events, workshops, conferences, anywhere that you can share your expertise physically. Make sure that you get to attend these things, these events, because that is how you can enhance your credibility and also connect with the right people. And that is why we said there are some things that you might need, like the different soft skills you're going to be mentioning, so that you really have a strong personal brand. Imagine being in a networking event and you're not a confident speaker. You've been told to introduce yourself and you're an entrepreneur. So there's certain impressions people are going to get. They're going to feel, we can't trust this person. This person doesn't feel confident about themselves and the thing they're selling to us. So there are certain things that we also now need to work on and grow in, so that we are really, really working to enhance our brand and so that our brand sells us. How you present yourself is basically how people are going to perceive you. So your dressing and appearance is very key. Your levels of confidence, ability to speak in public, good communication skills, overcoming imposter syndrome. That's very key, because sometimes the reason why we haven't started building that personal brand is imposter syndrome. Those things that we tell ourselves are the reason why we are not building a personal brand. Ability to build relationships, very important, because we are always selling ourselves, whether it's for the promotion, whether it's as an entrepreneur, we are always selling ourselves. So you need to be able to create a good impression, know how to start a first-time conversation. And that's when now we ask yourself, or you can ask yourself, am I good at small talk? Am I the kind of person who will avoid talking to people? Will I go to a networking event? I will be at a corner alone. So all of these things are very important, because that personal brand is what will sell you. And then being good at elevator pitches, persuasion through your personal brand, presentation skills, all of these are among the things that will make someone choose you. Yes. So that is it about building your personal brand. This is just the foundation of building a personal brand. There's a lot more to building your personal brand. We've said it needs you to have a strategy. So this is about the foundations. Where do I need to start so that I start building this personal brand? But we've now seen there's need for strategy, so that you align your message and your story with your aesthetics and the kind of content you bring out. you also need to develop yourself generally. So thank you so much for listening to me. Yes.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. Can we show some appreciation to Immaculate? Where are my emoji people? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, that was really great. Thank you for all the insights you've shared, even reminding us that a true brand comes from actually being self-aware and being just one with your brand and having a purposeful brand. Because again, if you're not serving, then you're not really in business. So on to our next phase. Now, if you have a question for Immaculate regarding what she's presented today on personal branding, or within that, just you can, this is your moment. Two ways we can do this. You can drop a question in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and we can pick you. Let me monitor the, or even if you want to say something, if you want to just react to her presentation, this would be your moment. Okay, someone asks, Dorothy says, thank you for the presentation, very insightful. That's Dorothy Adoyo. And then Jeremiah says also, a good foundation training on personal branding. Can you share the notes, please? That's Jeremiah. She will let you know. Emma asks, I've identified 3 areas that I would like my brand image to look like. How do I brand myself such that one area does not overshadow the other and I get to keep the 3?
That's a good question. What we need to know is that this personal brand is the totality of who you are. Unless there will be a conflict of interest, it's okay to bring out all the aspects of you. Previously, we talked a lot about having a specific niche, only talk about this one thing or show yourself in just one way. But that one is very, promotional. It's about just this one area. And it's okay if you do want to still do it in a very, very specific niche. But you need people to be able to know you beyond that one thing. Because what about when you need to pivot? You want to get into another area. If people knew you for strictly one thing, first, they'll be confused. Second, they will, credibility. So what about you build a relationship overall, people to just get to know who you are as a person. That way, it allows you to present the different aspects of yourself. And as I said, it depends on how comfortable you are sharing. There are people who are comfortable to even share they're a family person, a person of faith. They love working out, or taking care of their mental health is important. So those aspects, those small aspects, are among the things that make you human and make people see this person is on a journey just like mine. So we are similar. So it's okay to have all the 3 areas, again, if there's no conflict of interest, because it will allow people to just see the totality of who you are. You won't limit yourself. What if you'd want to change from one of these 3 areas or all of the 3 areas and start something else completely different? If people had built a relationship with you, they will move with you because who they love is the totality of who you are. Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Paris, we also have Paris in the chat box. She has a response. She just wants to say it's true. Pictures are everything. So she's affirming what you shared about pictures. Del Owner says, I don't think that's his name. I think Del Owner. Okay, I don't know. Probably is his name. Very insightful. Can you share the notes, please? Why do you guys want notes? How comes you're not asking for the recording? But it's okay. It's all right. We'll let you know at the end of this. We also have Foek, I'm assuming that's Vicky. She says, wonderful presentation. I loved it. I have to be consistent with my brand. Yes, consistency is everything. It's the name of the game. Phyllis Elaine says, beautiful and insightful presentation. Thank you very much. Maya Kiriungi says, thank you so much for sharing. Definitely a lot to take home. So many reactions, yeah. We also have Kale Nyachio. She says, very insightful presentation. Thanks so much. You've left us with so much to think about. I think this is a question. She says, how can you overcome imposter syndrome? I know that it's a big hindrance to building my brand and generally just getting clarity on what the future looks like. Help her out with that.
That's a very good question, because it's true. Imposter syndrome happens to all of us, or most of us. And the sooner we are able to overcome the imposter syndrome, the faster we are able to build, operate in our purpose, and be able to undertake the assignments that we know we have. And it's about the thoughts that are in our minds about ourselves. It's very negative thinking and bringing ourselves down. So how I'd answer that is say that you now need to fight those thoughts. You need to conquer the thoughts. It reminds me, I'm also a psychologist, so it reminds me of this common phrase that we say, the battle is in the mind. So if you really look at all these things of why you feel that you cannot do what you know you need to do, most likely it's not even true. So you need to fight those thoughts in your mind, and then you need to work on affirming yourself. And it means you also need to look at a lot of things. Because if you really are honest about looking at those thoughts, you will start disapproving them one by one. If the thought is, I am not good enough, and you really break that down and ask yourself, but why wouldn't I say that I am not good enough? Yet I have done this in the past, and I have done this other thing, and I have done this. Eventually, you will see that they don't hold any weight. But it also means you will also see if there are areas of improvement, maybe. So take action where you need to take action. Build on yourself, just as you have said. You can learn skills that can help you become better. And that's why we have said personal development has to be in line, because all this is about growth. All this is about you reaching your fullest potential and being able to live in your purpose. So there are some ways that we also need to work to work on ourselves. Sometimes, let me also add, these might stem from issues of maybe low self-esteem, low self-worth, and that voice is the one that keeps on making you now feel that you can't do the things that you know you are capable of doing. So that also means really looking within and dealing with some things, doing some serious inner work, because we need to confront these things. They shouldn't stop us from doing the things we know that we need to do and becoming the people we know that we need to become. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mugi says, my takeaway, I am the brand. Yes, you are. We also have Victorine Accords. She says, the webinar has been quite confronting to me as an entrepreneur. Immaculate is very articulate. Those are your flowers, Emma.
Thank you.
Samuel Mushiri says, image is everything. How do we overcome imitation as we build our own brand?
Imitation. So I'm guessing that means imitating another person. I will say just be authentic to you. Be so confident with who you are. Stop trying to be someone else, or stop wanting to be someone else. Work on appreciating yourself as you are, loving yourself as you are, appreciating the great contributions that you can bring, and then find your own unique way of expressing you. You can learn from others. You can check what others are doing in your industry or in that space, but make sure that it doesn't look like a copy paste. Just look within and know, how would I uniquely express these things, or just be me, even if we are probably doing the same thing. And we said no two people can be the same, because you have a different background story. The things that you're passionate about are probably fueled by your past, or your worldviews, your ideologies about life and how life should be, your belief system. So when you look at all these things from your own personal and unique experiences and story and your belief systems, you are different from the other person. So you can focus on just finding who you are first, so that you bring out the unique expression from you authentically. Yeah.
Good. Thank you. We have also Rabia. Rabia Ben asks, says, thank you so much. It is very interesting. I'm a fashion designer and I have a brand and a logo as Karima. But they tell me to use my name as a brand. What do you think, people? Did you get them?
Yes.
Okay.
So what I say about that is you need to have a different business brand and you need to have a different personal brand, because the business should have a life of its own. Your personal brand should have a life of its own. We've said that we want also your personal brand to be more than your business. Actually, for entrepreneurs, your personal brand shouldn't only be for selling your products and services. That way it becomes promotional. Yet we are saying that this tool is about building relationships, sharing who you are so that it builds credibility. So you don't want it to come off salesy, and that way it will just look like the business brand. So it is good for you to have your own personal brand. That is where your name will precede you, and it's a good thing because you could build a household name from building a very good personal brand, but the business brand still needs to have its own vehicle, or it needs to be its own person. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So if you have a question, I'm not sure if I've left anyone hands that's up, but I'll go to Pauline. Pauline says very insightful presentation, possibly get the recording. Yeah, we do have the recording. So if you did sign up on the newsletter, if you did use the landing page and registered and you have your email, you will get a link to the recording after this. Also Rev Brenda has the same question about recording. Yeah, so I've responded to that. Please share. Okay, there's another one. This isn't just a webinar, but it's also an inspiration to many of us. Thank you so much, Immaculate, for taking your time. You have a lot to build on. Please share the recordings. You'll get them. Victor, Emma, you've received your flowers from Victor?
Yeah.
Okay. Know thyself. Winnie says, know thyself, I'm the brand. That was insightful and uplifting. Emily says, thank you so much for the good presentation. Quite insightful. Seriously thinking about me having a brand. You are the brand, Emily. You are the brand. So let me see if there's another one. Oh, all right. Okay. How many more? Okay. I think we have one more. Nema asked, how do I go about creating my brand with just the products and services I give without showing my face or who I am?
So being that we have said that the brand is you, it's important that you show your face. However, I understand there are people who are not very comfortable about that or with that. So there are ways to go about it. That's why we said that apart from social media, other places that you could build your brand is like a personal website where you could be sharing blogs and articles, for example, on your journey, things that you're learning. But even on social media, that will now need a lot of creativity so that you still see that you're able to create a connection. Remember, the main reason why we are building this personal brand that is different from the business brand, where it is, the place where we mostly talk about these products and services, is so that we build a connection, so that people really get to see this founder. What are their thinking processes? Why are they passionate about this thing? So that means we will have to be very, very keen or creative and innovative to still be able to create that connection. However, if you're able to at least have some people coming out through your communication, for example, it could be your team members behind the scenes that do not have to show people's faces, like as people are working, you can just show snippets of how they're working. That could also help. But I will really advocate that as entrepreneurs, it's very, very important. It's going to be a very strong thing that you will have when you're able to create a relationship with people, from people knowing you, from people seeing your journey, the challenges, the lessons learned, the failures, and the wins. So it will be very good if we became very comfortable with ourselves so that we can share that. Sometimes I know it's conflict of interest. So the creativity, the innovativeness is what will help in that situation. But you being doesn't have to be the face of the brand per se, but you being there because it is your personal brand. Remember, we said the brand is you is very important.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we have to end there with the Q&A because our time is coming to a close. Thank you so much for all your comments and all your kind words and the questions and staying with us until this far. But just before we let Immaculate go, I want to just go back to the very beginning. I talked about Immaculate being here, courtesy of Brands with Purpose Consultancy Group. So if you'd want to engage with Immaculate further, if you'd want to work with her with your journey of really putting your brand together and having an identity as a brand, or if you'd want to take up a conversation with her, Immaculate, I'd ask you to share the screen with your contact.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can she said it's okay, you can reach out to her to engage with her more, and maybe also she can, from your conversation, she can maybe recommend some programs that will be effective for you from Brands with Purpose Consultancy Group. So that's her number. If you can't see the screen for some reason, allow me to just read it out for you. So the number is +254 713 314 255 or +254 736 524 690. Also, you can write to her, you can reach her through info@brandswithpurpose.co.ke, or you can visit their website, www.brandswithpurpose.co.ke. That way you can connect with Immaculate and her team. You can also find them on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or TikTok and YouTube as Brands with Purpose. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can we bring back all those emojis as Immaculate exits the stage? Thank you. Yeah. Wow. They're sending you love hearts and a lot of applause. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Immaculate. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being generous. So generous with your knowledge and your wisdom around the topic of branding. Okay. Asante sana. Okay, I see we have quite an audience in the room. And for those who joined us, I'll be like, why are you leaving? Okay, the only person I've asked to exit the stage, not the room, is Immaculate. For the rest of you, please just give me 5. I just need 5 more minutes, and I will allow all of us to exit the room. Just please don't make me beg. I'm already begging. Please just hold a little bit. Just bear with me. So if you joined us a bit late, then we had our president, Vicky Karoga. She talked a bit about who we are. We are FOWEC, that is the Federation of Women in Business Entrepreneurs in Kenya, which is the COMESA Federation of Women in Business Kenya chapter. And what we do, like she mentioned in brief, I'll just pass it. We are a membership association for women entrepreneurs and women in business. And some of the things we do, some of our mandate is to, and the slogan that we go by is that we meet, we trade, and we grow. And some of the forums we meet are like this, virtual spaces. We also have physical hangouts that we normally do. And just to recap 2 activities that I want to really highlight, if you'd want to have a better feel of who we are, if you'd want to meet the women entrepreneurs that I'm talking about, to get to know what FOWEC is more about, the kind of women that are here, how we meet, how we trade, and we grow. We have a membership hangout, and we normally also invite other people to come join us. That is happening soon. It's going to be a membership hangout. Is happening on 25th July this month. It's going to be in I forget the details. Rahab. Oh yeah, thank you so much, Rahab, for bringing it up. So we're gonna be meeting at Legend Restaurant. It's gonna be it's right at the current shopping center, and the theme is gonna be connect, engage, and empower. So if you are a member and you're here, we are happy to see you again. If you are new, you've never met us before, and you'd want to come hang out with us and just get a feel about us, talk to women who have been in business doing it, or also who are coming up, we would love to see you there. Rahab can give you more information. And then other event that I would want to highlight that Vicky talked about in passing is we have a training coming up. If you want to scale, every business is in digital right now. So if you'd want to scale your business, Rahab, help me with the next slide. Yes. So we have a training coming up. This is an ILO training in partnership with Novel Arc, Women in Digital Business Training. So if you feel like you really want to perfect your presence, your brand in the digital space, this is the platform for you. And when I say digital, I'm not just talking about social media. Because when you say digital, people assume social media. There's a lot to do. There's a lot that entails digital. Social media is part of digital, but it's not all of it. The website, the SEO ranking, all that conversation. Social media, there's a whole training we have in partnership with Novel, and it's an international labor organization training. So, and would want you to join us. It's going to start on 14th. It's going to be a virtual class. So if you can sign up for members, it's just 2,000 shillings. For non-members, it's 3,500. It's a virtual class. You can join in for wherever you'll be. We've seen Seychelles in the room. We've seen South Africa in the room. We've seen, even in Kenya, we've seen different countries in the room. So if you want to scale your business in the digital space, that's the training that you should be signing up for. And other than that, if you'd want to know more about us, we are, like I said, it's a membership organization. And if you'd want to join, you have some membership category. And I would want to go to our contact information. Rahab, if you can help me, go to the contact information. So we have individual membership. We also have corporate membership, and we have corporate membership. If you'd want to know more about the membership category, which one suits you best and where you can best fit in, we have a lovely lady called Rahab Mugi, who's helping me on the other end. She's going to take you through the different membership and which one you'd best fit in, and then enrollment process. I'm going to take you through that. So thank you so much for being with us until this tail end. And I want to invite a very special person to us. She is the vice president of the board. She's in the room, and I want her to come say hi to you and give you the warmest wishes on your way out. I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Millicent, and I'm a member of FOEC and also serving the board as a secretary. I also sit and I chair the Committee for Learning and Development. Thank you so much for being here. Please don't leave. Please wait for Violet. She has a very lovely voice, and she always has a very lovely message to leave us with. So for me, my time is out. Thank you so much for being a very lovely audience. And Violet, are you in the room?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Oh, she is there. She is there. Just
how
so
come my camera is not going on?
Can you check your machine?
Can you?
Oh, we see you. Yeah. I wanted them to see us so that they don't assume. Yeah. So we tend, people say we look alike. So just wanted to be sure you see we are two and you don't assume I did some magic trick and came back and pretended to be someone else. So that's Violet. Take it over. Asante.
Wow. Wow. Immaculate. Just as your name. That was an immaculate presentation. I heard Millicent telling people here to give flowers and all that as we are closing and going to wind down the evening. Let us see those emojis again. Round of applause. I don't know what instrument I will use. I was actually on the road, but I tuned in. Thank God for mobile devices. I tuned in and it was just amazing. Yes, as Millicent said, yeah, wow. Flowers to you. Well done, girl. Well done. Well, we happen to be in the same industry with Immaculate. I run an agency. It's called Terracotta Moon. It's 15 years old this year. I've been in this space. I'm a creative. I'm a professional artist and graphic designer. So I love doing creative work. I've managed many, many brands. And what we say about brands is that people forget about brands is that brands are long term. Just like she said, it is long term. It's a long game. It's a long game. I love the way you say that you can be many things, but many things that people like. That's what I got from your messaging, Immaculate. Obviously, I would like to sit down with you and have a cup of tea, many cups of tea. I can't wait to meet you at the hangout. I hope you'll be coming. I understand you're in Kilifi.
Yes.
But I'm just going to leave you with this. And, it's astounding that we have almost 100 people in this room. So that says a lot about you, Immaculate, that you are a powerhouse.
Thank you.
You're a powerhouse, sister. You're a powerhouse.
Thank
And that's what this space is about. It's about, I like to tell people, let's stop competing and let's collaborate. When you see somebody, light somebody's star, acknowledge people, thank them. That's also part of your brand. And showing up right, just like you said, what do you want to be known for? Maybe Millicent said something about me, and she said, I speak well. I can tell you, I used to be a very shy girl. But with time, I kind of realized that I'm my only competition. So with time, as you learn your craft, you become more, you have to keep chanting and chanting and chanting that brand, that thing, that essence of who you are. And what we heard is that we need a lot of authenticity in everything that we do. Just be you. Of course, you can get inspiration from other people and other spaces, but just be you and always show up right. Madam, I understand that we also have an international audience. I was listening as I was driving. Then we can just say that you're a world-class brand, my dear, isn't it? That you are absolutely a world-class brand. I thank you for stepping up. I thank you for telling people what you do, and you do it so well. I cannot overemphasize how it was so nice listening to you. I would say that you are a good teacher.
Oh,
You're
Santi
a
Sana,
good
thank you.
teacher, yes, because you have that calmness and you have a way that you deliver your message that is so beautiful, so beautiful. And everybody here is striving to be strong, beautiful, and overcoming those fears. And let me tell you, all I can tell people is do it scared, do it. Do it scared, but do it. Yes. So I've got a fantastic Congolese proverb that goes like this as I close out. Person is a person because of others. Person is a person because of others. Then I've got another one. It's a Mali proverb. Little by little, the bird makes its nest. Stop making nests. Get in touch with Immaculate. Please give her business. Give her biashara, like we say here. Make this girl make her money because she's good at what she does. Thank you so much. I don't know, asanteni. Mbarikiwe, be blessed. Have a very fantastic July. It's the middle of the year. Please take stock about the past 6 months of the year. This is your time to get to strong by the end of 2025. It's not too late. We love you all. COWEC is growing. We're such a powerhouse of wonderful women. I can see our brothers have joined us here. We wish to see a lot more he for she's. Please come for the hangout, gentlemen. Don't be scared. Kujeni, we need our brothers. We need our supporters. We need our partners as well. Come in strong numbers. I thank you all and have a fantastic evening and a very good night. Thank you, Immaculate. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much. It was very
Good
interesting.
night. Bye.
Bless you.
Thank you, Immaculate.
Insightful.